本目、前。When striking at the adversary's temple, the kisaki is too low. The kisaki should only be slightly lower than your right shoulder. When you raise the sword overhead, the fists and kisaki are too low. Here's the correct way. When holding the sword aloft, make sure that the wrist is turned slightly inwards and the blade is raised close to the left ear as if to thrust to the rear. Compare the incorrect form with the correct one on the right. There, the kisaki is too low. Slightly tighten the hold of the little finger of your left hand, bend both elbows, and raise the sword over your head so that the kisaki is parallel to the floor. On completion of the downstroke, the kisaki is parallel with the floor. On completion of the downstroke, your left fist should be level with your navel. The kisaki is slightly lowered. On completion of chiburi, the kisaki is too high. The right fist should be level with the left, and the kisaki points down at an angle of about 45 degrees. Nihonme, ushiro. The sword is drawn after you've turned to face your opponent. This is too late. It's important to strike as soon as you face your opponent. At the time of cleaving, the rear foot is not in parallel to the front foot. The rear foot should line parallel to the right foot. Sanbonme, ukenagashi. Many people tend to display a rather unsteady stance. Distribute your weight evenly on both feet to steady your balance. On completion of the downstroke, the kisaki is too low. When executed correctly, the left hand should stop at the navel with the kisaki slightly lowered. Yonhonme, tsuka-ate. When the opponent is struck, the tsukagashira is too high. The tsukagashira should be aimed at your opponent's solar plexus. Let's take another look from the side. This is the correct position. At the time of striking, the rear foot is not in parallel to the right foot. The rear foot should line parallel to the right foot. When piercing the rear adversary, the upper body is unsteady. Be careful not to turn too far. Extend your right elbow and bring your right fist close to your body. This is a bad example of not thrusting to the rear firmly enough. Turn the kisaki slightly inwards and thrust firmly. 5本目、けさ切り。When cleaving your opponent with an upward diagonal stroke, don't lean forward. Steady yourself and strike upward at an acute angle. Be careful not to lose balance of the upper body. There should be no pause between the upper diagonal stroke and the downstroke. Execute both strokes in one continuous movement. Study the correct form and be sure not to pause between strokes.